everybody, this is Maniac 4 Bricks, and welcome back to another episode of... I was trying to record this as a regular video, but I don't have enough space, I don't have enough battery, so I'm going to do it as a live stream, and you have the enjoyment of having a live chat, so let's get right on to it. I was already recording the video, I have a whole bunch of plushes here in a big dog pile, I have more that's not even on camera right now, but we'll get to it. So, I've been waiting to do a video like this for a while. Not only earlier in this year, but even a year ago. So I'm happy to finally get this through and update about my Lego plush collection up to this point. And as you can tell, it's quite a collection. I've been moving a bunch of stuff around in the garage, so I know it's a big mess with Emma Jamma, but it's not going to be the Lego room quality material, but that's fine. We'll get to it when we get to it. So, to start things out, I'm going to go by theme on what Lego minifigure plushes I've collected. There are actually some that are outside of minifigure plushes themselves. There are some that are called Sleep Buddies. And I think there's one or two that I don't have on frame right now. Actually, three I can think of I don't have frame right now. But I will give them a special acknowledgement. They're shuffled into another box that I didn't have available right now. So let's just get right to it. We're going to start things off with some that I have from the Lego movie. The Lego Ninjago movie specifically. This is Emmett. No, this is... I'm sorry, I looked at Emmett behind me, underneath me. This is Lloyd and Sensei Wu, and they look fairly good. I mean, there's not a lot of, printing on them. I'm going to throw the word printing, embroidering, embedding. I'm going to throw those words around a lot in here, by the way. There's not a lot of printing on them, but it has what it needs to. I mean, there's nothing on the legs or anything for either of these. You don't have any separate skirt piece for Sensei Wu, just like in the minifig, or even a simulation of a skirt piece, but it's fine. I think it still, gets the general idea across. You got the arms posed up, which is something that they had for quite some time, and nowadays I think they changed it around where they don't have it as much, or it's based on the manufacturer. There are actually at least 3 different ways that these are manufactured. Some of them, they just say from the Lego group, like the ones I'm holding right here. Yeah, it just says manufactured and distributed by the Lego group and built in Denmark. So I don't know if they have a textile industry in the company. That's cool if they do, but I have no idea further about that right now. What I find interesting about these and the next 2 that we'll see is that the heads have like a burnt orange kind of look to them. And I don't know if it has to do with the fact that that's how they were making them at the time, or if it has to do with the fact that these specifically were in the Lego Ninjago movie, which has a bit more detail and embellishment to the minifigures in the movie, and, differences of lighting or whatever, made it look like their heads weren't completely straight yellow like we know them, like most minifigure heads. So I do find that interesting. It has like this burnt yellow, sun yellow, whatever you want to call it, on them. It does look pretty good for Sensei Wu. I do like the face on him, and he's got a very nice beard too. It's pinned on there, so you can't really see the entire torso behind it unless you rip it apart. But I don't even know. Yeah, there's not enough room for any kind of mouth underneath him for the beard. Just not necessary detail. But they do have, well, from what I can see here, yeah, the torso is entirely printed. So it's probably like they added it as a separate material onto here. I don't know plushes. I don't know the manufacturing of them. I don't know textiles. Don't ask me about that as well throughout the video. I'm going to sound dumb. As if I don't already sound dumb. But I love this stuff, and that's what we're here for. So, these are actually pretty smooth. While I did say that the beard is very textured on here, the torso is very smooth, doesn't have a lot of outward detail or anything on there. The same goes for Lloyd. So, moving on from there, we've got a hot dog man and a Bumblebee Girl. Now, these are very accurate, once again, and cover the basics of what they need for the minifigs to be plushes. But again, very smooth material. On the hot dog man, there's not really an extra layer for the mustard from top to bottom, but it still has so much, fluff for the hot dog shaping of the figure. I'm okay with that. I think it's perfectly fine. Again, the sunburnt face on him, I don't know why. Maybe it's from a digital render of the figure, for all I know, instead of a literal, plastic figure. I don't know. But he looks all right. Nothing on the back to speak of. He's a bit hard to stand up, I will say. A lot of the minifigures, they will have like a square bottom to them. Like there's actually a piece here that feels hardened, but it's not easy to stand them up. And especially with this one because it's so top heavy, being a plush. Stand him over here. Now he's defying all gravity and laws of physics and doing exactly what I asked him to do. But I've had a bunch of times before I've had him fall over without touching him. So thank you for disobeying me and being a good boy this time. But otherwise, we got the Bumblebee Girl here, and it covers the basics, does the job well. I do like the antennae added on here. Didn't have to be there, but I do appreciate that. Again, the sunburnt look around the face, and the wings are a little bit on the wayside. It's very thin. It covers at least what it needs to, but I would have preferred if there was something else, going on here. It doesn't even have any texture from the wing piece. I don't mind that it's in white as opposed to a transparent clear. Doing that on a plush is very difficult, I would imagine. I also find it weird that she has black pants because on the minifigure, it's continuing directly from the torso and just has black stripes, not the entire, leg pieces. But she works well. Now she's going to fall over, even though I thought she was going to be a lot easier. Yep. All right. Everything's topsy-turvy. It's 2020. It's fine. So moving on, we have one that I picked up last year from the one and only Kevin Hinkle. This is actually from 2012? No, 2004. Yeah, 2004. I love this minifigure. I really enjoy this one. And when it comes to older LEGO minifigure plushes or LEGO plushes in general, I don't have a lot of preference for them. I just think, hey, it'd be cool to get one from different points in time. And this one looks really good. It's really good all the way around. It's got all this nice embellishment for the overalls. It doesn't actually carry through the torso, which is totally fine by me. But the fact that it's printed on the back is nice. It has a LEGO logo on the back of there. It's got little bits for the string things. I don't know what it's called in overalls. You think I'm smart? You're in the wrong channel. So it does just enough to make it look right. It's got more than what I was expecting for something back in 2004. And even better than that, 2 additional features that no other plush on this table and in the other box has on them. Posable arms. Yes! So there's like a little disc piece with a pin through it that keeps the arms in place, kind of like on a regular minifigure. So that's how it's able to move its arms back and forth and keep the pose there. I love it. I would love to see another one of these like that. Maybe a different variation. But also I want to see another one like that because of this on the top. This on the top is supposed to be a Velcro. Right now it's only just a pin on here, but it does work like Velcro. Because there's a pin through it, for the tag. So you can actually swap out headpieces and hat accessories. I love that. It didn't have to be like that. It could have been built onto it, literally, not just making a pun here, but I mean like it could have been literally attached onto the head of it, like the rest of the body. But the fact that it's like that is just very cool. Just make it a little more personalized. If you have another one like that from that time period, 2004, I gotta see more about these. Other older ones I can think of would just be the alligator puppet plush that Brixar has. I think it came with a Duplo set, if I remember correctly. I have seen it once or twice floating around in the ether, but I haven't actually picked it up yet. So, there we have this guy. Joyous guy. Now, the next one I have here, this is one of the first ones that I owned. Actually, it was between these two. No, I'm completely wrong. It was just this one. This was the first LEGO plush that I had owned back in 2012, and I cherish this one. This is one of my favorite LEGO plushes of all time, bar none, no matter what the other ones can do. Even alongside the one I just talked about, I love this one a lot. This was from Toys R Us. I remember this about $20. A lot of these were between $15 to $20. And what makes this one special is not only the fact that it's a Duplo bunny, which I've always wanted to see in physical form. The Duplo bunny as a logo always looks appealing to me, and I've always wanted to see it physically. They had it in plush, and then they had it later as an actual piece in Duplo. I love that. I bought the set right away when I saw that. But also the fact that this one was a gift from my mom. And I really enjoy the fact that she thought about me, that she was willing to get this for me, just as a random gift, not even for a special occasion or holiday or anything like that, just because she saw it and thought it was really cute and knew that I was going to enjoy it. So, what was I? 17 at the time. I'm still enjoying it, and I'm 25 now. So, very, very much appreciate this one. It's got a Duplo logo etched in on the bottom of its foot. You can actually feel the texture for that. It's really nice. The eyes are etched in. It's got a very fluffy texture that most of the other plushes, you know, they're more softened up. But this one fits very well being a rabbit. So I love this one a lot. And I think this one was made in-house too. Yeah, distributed in USA, made by Lego Systems Inc. There you go. Very nice. I love this one. So if I didn't say enough, all right. So another one that also has a very fluffy texture to it is this Ollie the Dragon, which I found at a Philly Brick Fest opening ceremony when we had it in Legoland Discovery Centers. I thought this was really cool, and I think I also picked up one that was like a small dragon as a keychain, but like a keychain plush. I don't have that here, unfortunately, right now, but I will try to share that sometime later. And it's really cool having this one here because it reminds me a lot of the Ollie Dragon sculpture that was in some Legoland theme parks. I've seen it in books. I've seen it in the Legoland PC game when I was growing up. Very much feels like that, even though it doesn't have the exact eyes, but it's also got like the open mouth pose. I love that about him. It's always tilting its head to the side and having the tail, you know, swirled around a bit. Again, a static one, but that comes with the territory with a lot of stuffed animals and plushes. A little bit of movement, but you know, can't really keep it in that pose. Not like the other one that we had before. That's why I was so enthusiastic about it. But I love all these little spikes in the back of it. It's got a little, you know, detail on the chest. It's pretty good. The little, you know, not talons, just claws on the feet. A little bit of simulation of claws on the hands. It's just kind of like a little thread or two, but it's really nice. It feels really soft. It's really neat. It just feels like a dragon plush. If you didn't have the tag on here, you probably wouldn't even know it was Lego. But it's really good. Next one I want to share with you is one that isn't from Lego itself. It's a knockoff Lego plush. Yeah, I found this one at Goodwill a couple of years ago, and I was like, I know this is fake, but I want to pick it up anyways. Just for the laughs, just for the goofs. It's not very sturdy. I mean, it does hold the material together very well, but it's not one you can actually stand up properly. You're always going to have to lean it against something, whether it's sitting or standing. It's got the head built into the hat like that, which I talked about before. Yeah, that could have happened, but like it's so streamlined to it. It almost looks like they made two at the same time and didn't even think about, oh, what if we make this a little different? It's like, no, we'll just continue how the head looks, make it green, and put this little lip on it, you know, for the hat. I don't know. It's silly. It's goofy. There are other ones like this. There are other colors of it very similar to this one. I think I've seen one in orange before. I don't know the company that made this. I couldn't really find it online. I mean, I found other listings on eBay or so, but I couldn't find directly like what company made it. There's no tags on this one. Since I got it from Goodwill, it's very likely the tag was ripped off before it was received, but it's actually kind of soft. It's surprisingly soft all around, except for the smoothness on the belly, you know, for all the rip-off Lego City torso design there. And adding a belt to it, why not? It doesn't even have the legs proper. Look at this. It just stubs. There's not even like I'll look at the Emmett one just a little bit, but look at the legs. They just don't feel right. They just feel like big pieces of jello. So, I don't know. It's funny. Also, keep in mind, this one has fingers and thumbs. Yeah, he's actually got thumbs. He's not even like claw hands for a minifig. It's just like, we just had this thing laying around, slap a Lego looking face and torso on it and throw it to market or in your nearest carnival or something like that. It's funny, and that's why I like bringing it up. So, moving on from there, I'm going to move over to some Lego Movie 2, Lego Batman movie stuff, and there are going to be a couple of interesting keychain plushes in here as well. Starting things off with the Lego Movie 2, we've got an Emmett here. I know there's a Sleepy Buddy version of Emmett, which is a different material. Well, I'll talk about when I get to Batman. But this one's, pretty rigid. I would have liked if they actually filled in a lot of the detail here. I know it's based on the Lego Movie 2, and the Apocalypse Burke version of Emmett has little notches here and there on the torso. Very well captured here, but it does make it feel less timeless because of that. Like, I would have preferred if it was actually filled in and looked more like the Lego Movie 1 version, where it's more recognizable. If you looked at this one long after the Lego Movie 2, you would probably think, oh, was something actually etched off of the plush? It wasn't, but it feels weird. I don't know. Especially considering that they didn't make Lego Movie plushes for the first movie in 2014 that I remember. I don't know. I would have liked it a little bit better there. But I do have to give it credit that the name tag is actually a separate looking thing. It could have easily been etched into the rest of the torso, but you can flap it. It flaps back and forth. It's neat. Like, the rest of this, is already in the torso. But this, for some reason, they made that stand out. That's cool. This is going into a lot more of the ones that are made by Manhattan Toy Company, which apparently is not in Manhattan. It's in Minneapolis, Maryland. No, Minneapolis, Minnesota. I don't know how to read state postal codes. I do. I'm joking. It's just late. But anyways, moving on. We have a wild style here. And this is kind of a weird wild style. This one I actually found through the Lego shop at home on clearance earlier in 2020. I think it's been around for quite some time before that because the Lego Movie 2 came out in 2019. But this one, I don't know if it counts as a plush, a Sleepy Buddy, or something else. It's not the material of a Sleepy Buddy, but it is weird that it exists as a plush when there's this one, which came out from Target. The Emmett also came out from Target. Several of the Lego Movie ones I have here are from Target. But for some reason, Lego made this one in-house, and then they had the Manhattan Toy Company make this one. I have no idea why. Because this one is superior. This one actually has a lot more authenticity to the minifigure when it comes to the goggles, the neckerchief, the printing on the legs. I really like this one a lot better. But this one was cheaper. And I don't want to even say in every way around of how it's made, but I just mean like it was on discount when I found it, and I don't know. I mean, this one eventually went to discount. A lot of the Lego Movie 2 ones in Target did, but yeah, I don't know what to say about this one. It's just, again, the very smooth belly texture that we have from the Lego Ninjago movie ones. Nothing printed on the legs. The arms are always in a stuck-up static pose, like she's surprised. A little bit of difference between the faces on them. Again, just because of the way that they were made. This one feels a lot more rounded than this one. Or a little bit bigger when it's rounded. Yeah. It's weird because the hair on this one almost feels like a hood. Again, being so smooth. Whereas this one, you can actually tell differences between them. I like that the goggles actually have a little plastic piece in between. Like a clear plastic piece. And it also stands up better. There we go. Standing contest. They're both win. I had no idea how this is going to go. Actually, she's leaning against Batgirl. So, yeah. She wins. Now, moving on from there, I do have a Sleepy Buddy version of General Mayhem. Unfortunately, it's not with me right now. I have it elsewhere, but I will update about that sometime later. Maybe I'll do a separate video about that. I do have a video coming soon about a recent Lego plush minifigure. That's kind of why I was like, oh, maybe I'll just do this while I have them out here. So this one's okay, but it does depend on how you find it. While I was looking through Target, I was able to find this several times for quite some time, but every time I looked at it, I was like, there's going to be something wrong here. Because, the fins, there's a lot of fins on the helmet of the General Mayhem figure, and you have this little mouthpiece. Those could easily get folded and mangled in different directions. And even this one is a bit mangled already. But even more than that, it's made in white. So it's very easy for it to, if it gets dirty, it will show it's getting dirty very easily. The kind of thing that, like, I've seen a couple of these dropped on the floor in Target stores when they were around. And it felt like, oh, this is going to be, I don't know how to clean these, but hopefully it's not a hard process. It doesn't really say on here, No. Well, not on that tag, at least. Not on that tag. Nope. No, it doesn't even say how to wash them. It says the kind of material that it's made out of, but I don't know if it's the kind of thing that they consider. It also feels weird on the fact that this is a mini doll plush. I don't even know if there are that many other ones, but it's kind of cool for that. It's still got the rigid feet, like I said before, the minifigure ones. It's still got the claw hands, also very rigid, like a lot of the minifigure ones. Can't really move the arms as much, even for a little bit, because of the shoulder pieces. And the wings are so, again, you know, spare no expense. They're kind of just one flappy thing that's pinned in the middle and not representative as much of the actual wings on the figure. It almost looks like a cape the more I look at it. But I will give it some credit. A lot of really nice etching along the top and bottom of this. I like that this is a different material for the helmet itself compared to the rest of the helmet. That's really nice. I also didn't realize this until now. There's like an extra etching on here on the shoulder armor that's on the print of the minifigure, the mini doll. I never recognized that on the mini doll. I have like 2 or 3 of the mini doll of Sweet Mayhem, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's a neat little thing there. Some kind of like alien language thing. I don't even know if they explored that much in other material from the Lego Movie 2, but it's cool that it's there. I'll give it credit for that. You win this round. Now, before we go into the Lego Batman movie ones, oh, I forgot I have a few other ones up here. There we go. So we have 2 from Unikitty. I mean, they're based on Lego Movie Unikitty, but you got Unikitty herself, which I'm glad that they made it like this because you almost never see her like that in the Lego Movie 2, and it's just nice to have it generally. Is in a sitting pose, which I think is adorable. I love Unikitty. I've always loved Unikitty since the first Lego movie. I haven't watched all of the Unikitty TV show, but I do appreciate it being its own thing and having a lot of fun characters with it. I would have liked if they had more Lego movie related characters, but I'll take it for what it is. I haven't watched all of the show though. But this is still cool. It's got a little bit of, you know, dirt on it here and there. Hopefully there's a good way to clean it because, again, they don't have it on the tag or anything. A little hard to stand up at times. I usually have to lean it against something if I'm having it up somewhere. And it's really nicely done. Just, I mean, kind of basic, but nicely done just for what it's supposed to be. I definitely like it around the eyes and mouth. They added a bit onto the tail, which didn't have to be there, but appreciated that it's there. Unfortunately, not on the other side of the tail. Yeah, oh well. But I would have preferred if this was actually standing up like the Angry Kitty that I have right next to me. But I'll take it for what it is. It's still very cute that way. I think there's a couple different merchandise that was represented like that for the Lego Movie 2 with Unikitty without being angry. So, okay, fair enough. And now moving on to Angry Kitty. So this one actually is standing up. It's actually got printing all the way around. It's got little flame details on the tail and the feet. That's actually a lot better. It's got the little spikes along it. Great. It's got just about everything that it needs to be to represent it. The only thing is like, oh, it would have been nice to have a little more around the headband, but that's a minor thing to ask for when all the rest of this looks pretty good. I actually appreciate this one. I do like Angry Kitty. I think it was a lot of fun in Lego Movie 2. I didn't like that it was the only way of seeing Unikitty in the Lego Movie 2. Because it was like, Lego Movie 1, you saw other versions of Unikitty, little moods here and there, and then Angry Kitty a little bit at the end. Lego Movie 2, you only have Angry Kitty. What gives? I would prefer seeing a little bit of variation in there as well. The Unikitty TV show has some variants, if I remember correctly. He's got different outfits. So, yeah, cool. Oh, so we're going to move on to the keychains. There are several keychain plushes that were released for Lego Movie 2, and I don't have the Benny one, unfortunately. I think that's the only one in here that I'm missing. I found it one time in Target. I bought it. I sent it to Brickstar. I tried to find it again. did not show up. I was able to find these keychains again in the Lego store, did not find the Benny one. Go figure, that was going to be very hard to find. That one is actually based on the Apocalypse version of Benny, so he does have the robotic arm on one side. I don't remember which side it was. But it's not going to be as, again, timeless as the original one from the Lego Movie 1. Same thing still applies with Emmett in that way. This is the Apocalypse version of Emmett. But one thing that's interesting about each of these is that they don't have it front and back being the same thing as the figure, or even the back of the figure. The back of each of these is just a pattern. It's just a background kind of loosely based on the character. So this one has a lot of these brownish, reddish, grayish, yellowish bricks all in a different position. 2x4s, 1x2s, 1x1s. They have printing on them that I've never seen on the actual bricks themselves. They probably just made it for this particular design where it says keep out, or it has an arrow, has these scratches, or like a cross sign with boards, like 2x4 boards on a 2x4 brick, go figure. Other little signage, caution signs. It's okay. It looks nice, but yeah, it's okay. We got Angry Kitty here, and then you have Unikitty here, and they're in the same pose. Go figure. They actually did that for some of these for a change. They look nice, and still fluffy. Angry Kitty is just lightning bolts on the back of her in different colors. Meanwhile, Unikitty, it's a whole bunch of clouds. Some of them they put completely upside down, and a whole bunch of stars surrounding it. Okay, fine. It gets the job done. Actually looks pretty nice there, in my opinion. We've got a Batman, but he's a bit cut off. They cut off the top of his cowl, like the little ears. So you still see the face, but there's so much Batman. There's so much going on with the plush. They're like, all right, we got to chop it somewhere. And he's already pretty dang tall. So, yeah, let's just take off the top of his helmet. Why not? So it's like a squarish top there. And it's in the Apocalypse version of Batman, again, like a movie too. Still looks pretty nice. Still captures most of this, and maybe each of these are like based on the minifigure designs, like the actual, like if it was like a 2D drawing of them. That's what I'm guessing. But yeah, and it's very basic on the back of him. It just has a whole bunch of chain links, and then it says the word Bat Bunker all over the place. If you want to see close-ups of these, let me know in the comments below. Maybe I'll do a separate video or just kind of show them a little bit closer, because I am pretty far away from the camera right now. Then we have Wild Style and Lucy. Yeah, this one looks good. This one captures the minifigure very well, not like the one version of the plush that we had earlier. But the back is kind of basic. I kind of get it, because it's got blue dots, purple dots, lavender dots, pink dots, all in arrangements, just random patterns of them. I guess that relates back to the blue and purple magenta sort of thing that she has on her torso and hair. But yeah, that just doesn't feel right to me. It just feels like a weird patterning. Maybe it's supposed to relate to her previous experience in a popular band and having all these little bubbles, dots, whatever, being like a pop theme. I don't know. I'm pulling at straws here for that to justify that. And last but not least, from here we have Rex Danger Vest. He has the traditional look on him, kind of a smiling face there, and on the back of him, a little plain but still very stylized. We have a whole bunch of R's in different colors, and we have the word Rex that's tossed around. So, and it's got a dark blue background, like the dark blue vest he wears. So that's pretty nice. Now, if I move this over, we'll get to the Lego Batman movie plushes. There's only 3 of them that I have right now. I know there's a Joker plush, and I believe he's in that other box. I do have to still sort these again, because now there's some from other themes that have been going through. Even the Ninjago ones, but with the Ninjago movie, we'll figure it out when we get there. But for now, I'm just kind of sharing which ones I have, and I'll figure out the other part later for where I put them. So, Batman here. It's a standard Batman. He's got his arms up, and I actually think this looks okay. with the arms up because it's like maybe he's ready for a fight pose. Kind of playing on the details here. Doesn't feel as much like the Lego Batman movie Batman. Just kind of feels like a generic, hey, the Lego Batman figure, whatever. Maybe a little bit in the face feels like it with the smirk, which honestly is kind of interesting. It's like they use a different material for the eyes. They use a different material for the mouth, that etched material that I keep talking about on all the printing on the figures. But the body isn't printed. It's like smoothed out. I don't know. I don't know how this stuff works. He's got a cape, flowy cape. Works fine. But here's the Batman plush. And then here's the Batman Sleep Buddy. Now, I don't actually sleep with these. We have our own space. But that's a size difference between them. Quite a bit. The Sleepy Buddy would normally be a little bit closer to this height. I think this one might be a little bit taller than most because of being Batman and just having the helmet because I'm Batman, But yeah, they are significantly different in height. Sleepy Buddies are also a different material. It's a little bit more floppy and, flexible, if you may. It's a Sleepy Buddy. The intention is that this is the one you would actually have, for your kid to sleep with and therefore be very comfortable. A bit more comfortable than the regular Plushes, which are a bit rigid, which I might have mentioned before. It's like you're trying to swing at me. I'm picking him up by the head. Got a lot of... This cape is attracting a lot of little things. But yeah, very soft material. And this is one that you wouldn't actually find in the Lego aisle. If you were to find this in Target, you would actually find it in the bedding section. Some Lego plushes are like that, or Sleepy Buddies, I should say, are like that. The Sleepy Buddies are in the plush, The Sleepy Buddies are in the bedding section. The plushes are with the Lego stuff. And sometimes the Lego stuff, it switches around. Like I found one that we'll talk about in just a bit that I found outside of the Lego aisle in Target. It was kind of a Star Wars area, but not entirely. This was on an end cap. For some reason, it happens. This one's still rigid enough that it's like, okay, well, kind of moving around, but he's always going to revert back to a static pose. This is a little bit more flexible on the arms. The hands, I forgot to mention about the hands being in a V shape instead of a C shape. It's less claw-like. It's more like just like, I can grab things like this. Or, it's weird. It's weird, but it's fun. I think I got this one on discount or something. This is from a different company than the Manhattan one that I mentioned earlier. This is from Franco Manufacturing, which apparently is in New Jersey. Okay, cool. My neck of the woods. Not necessarily literally around me, but hey, it's in my state. I'll give it credit for that. Then we have another one from Lego Batman movie. We got Batgirl. I really appreciate that they added the hairpiece on the back of her. Could have easily had that completely off and still would have looked okay as a Batgirl, without that being in the helmet. But it's there, and it's all scrunchy, like the minifigure piece. So, props to that. No printing on the back of her, just like with Batman. Again, just having the smoothed out texture here, and then a little bit more etched in, sewn in, whatever you want to call it, for the face. Even for the mask a little bit, stands out a bit from the rest of the head. It's cool. And again, the arms, they can work well for like a fighting pose, if you want that. Now, we're going to move on to Lego Star Wars. There's actually a couple of additions for my Lego Plush collection, thanks to Star Wars. There have been a couple of them that have been making around in Targets lately for 2020. So they're based on the ones from 2019, but now they have a holiday getup to go with them. And of course, we can't talk about Lego Star Wars plushes without talking about Baby Yoda, or the child. This one I actually found a while ago, and it took a while for it to actually arrive in any Targets, because I saw people posting it constantly about like, I found Lego Baby Yoda plush, blah, blah, and all over the social media. But I was like, none of my Targets have it. So I waited long enough, I was able to find it, and this one didn't have a tag with it. So I couldn't actually scan it when I brought it to the register. Weird. How do I buy it then? So it turns out, at this target, at a specific target with a specific person at the register. They just priced it themselves. And I think I had that with another plush, but that's not Lego related, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, they priced it themselves, and I basically got it half off. It was originally $10. I got it for $5. I'm okay if the tag's missing then. So yeah, this was nice to find. The arms are sewn together for this Baby Yoda plush. It's got some embroidery for the torso and the eyes. I do like the line work that's done on the top of the head, and captures it very well. I'm still a couple episodes behind on The Mandalorian Season 2. I only watched episode 1 so far, but I'll probably watch the rest. And now this one, so this one I guess is based on more recent versions of Yoda as a minifigure. The one from the UCS Yoda that came out about a year ago, that kind of minifigure. Because originally this one did have the sand green like this guy, but now he's an olive green. It's cool, and that's just really particular nerdy stuff that I care about. He looks very good. I do still like that he still has short legs, and you can still tell height differences between the two. If I can cradle enough in my arms, I can try to put Darth Vader right next to them to get like that leg height difference between them. That looks great. I'm glad that there's a little attention to detail like that for all these, where it could have easily just been thrown out there, like that Goodwill one that we talked about earlier. Vaguely looking at it, but when you got Lego and you got Star Wars backing you, it's like, all right, we gotta get this right. So between these, yeah, they both look pretty good. I think I like the Yoda a little bit better. He's got even like the hair on the back of him, like on the minifigure. It's a little frizzy, but it's fine because he's Yoda. I think that works okay. He's got the line work on top of his head with the little wrinkles on the eyes and out everywhere. It looks pretty darn good. And even on the torso and things, I dig it. I think this works out very well. Almost seems like off-putting for this Yoda, this child, to be so sand green. I actually wonder. I like that now. Also, I like sewn-in work. I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like on the Sweet Mayhem, how it has extra layering to it. That I think is pretty cool, just to separate itself from the other ones. Like even this Yoda doesn't, like, kind of has it, but not as much. So yeah, that's pretty neat. And stuff him in there for now. And of course, since I already brought up Darth Vader, might as well bring him up here. He doesn't have a lightsaber with him, which is totally fine by me. I think that would have easily gotten lost or would have been hard to sew in with the rest of it. Or just to have around with, if you're going to share this thing around, giant lightsaber poking out. Very good. Very good. A lot of these Lego minifigures, very good quality. I like the Manhattan quality of a lot of these. I do not have the largest Lego plush collection, believe me. I know a guy, MC Survival Man, who has more, and find that on Instagram with a lot of his incredible work. A lot of really good plushes that I don't have, and I really enjoy seeing what else he finds. This one's very well done. I don't know exactly which Darth Vader this is based on, but it has to be in the newer, modified, and molded, whatever you call it, helmet era of Darth Vader. I mean, not only did this one come out last year, or that would have already been a thing, but it represents it very well, like compared to the rest of the body of the minifig. It looks very good. It's got a little bit of work along, where the eyes would be. That's really neat here. Where, again, could have just been flat, but it looks very good there. It's got all these little buttons and lights and things on the torso I probably wouldn't have paid attention to on the minifigure. It's like, wow, this thing feels great. This feels awesome. It's a really nice looking minifigure. It's one of the better plushes in my opinion. I really enjoy this one. Now, if they did have one based on like the old version of Darth Vader's helmet, I think it would be cool, but it wouldn't have lived up to it. It would just be more of like a nostalgia trip, honestly. Oh boy, who do I want to talk about next? All right, let's go. Let's keep on the positivity for a little bit longer. We'll talk about Rey here, although we might be subject to positivity because this is not based on The Force Awakens Rey. This is not based on The Last Jedi Rey, is it? Maybe it is? I don't remember. See, it might be actually Last Jedi Rey because of the white outfit as opposed to gray. I don't know. I thought it might have been between Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker. I'm not entirely sure, but it did come out in 2019, so it could go either way. So either one, it's fine. It works well. It gets the point across. I think the face is a little plain. I find it a little weird. Maybe this is just on my copy personally, but there's not enough stuffing around part of her cheek, so it kind of feels more inward and just feels weird that way, just looking at it. I don't know. Could just be my particular one. I don't know if I can smush it around enough to adjust that, or if it's going to make it worse. So I'm just going to leave it as it is and just acknowledge that. But one thing I do like about this one, not only the top and bottom work on there, again, looking a lot like the minifigure printing, but I really like the hair done on here. All these little buns captures it very well from the minifigure form. Maybe it's a little bit odd of the rounding on here compared to the rest of the head, but the buns, very well done. I appreciate that's even there. All right, grab your red markers. We gotta work on this guy. I can't think of a single time I've walked through Target in 2019, I find the Lego Star Wars plushes on the shelves, and I try to get one that looks fairly good in quality, and I think, yes, this is the Chewbacca that I want. Every single one of them, I kid you not, I've seen dozens of them at a time. Every single one of them looks ragged, looks messy. And you could say, but that's part of it. He's a Wookiee. He's got fur all over him. Of course it's going to look disorganized. Look, he needs work. There's like one or two times that I was in Target and I found a few of these plushes that still had like the packaging wrap around them. So it didn't have all this hair floofed out yet. It was all contained. I don't know if that would have been better or worse. Honestly, it's just not right. It's based on the minifigure, which already looks a little bit shaggy as it does. But this just takes it to a whole new level, being a plush. It's honestly one of my least favorite of Lego plushes ever. I still bought it, but, I still waited a while before buying it. I was like, all right, I'll get the other Star Wars ones now. That's fine. I don't know about this one. I don't know if there's going to be anything better to look at here. I will give it the credit that he still has the ammo belt front and back on him, as opposed to just being on the front. You could have easily nixed it on the back. He's still got a little bit of fur detail on the legs, just as a print, not as this whole mamma jamma, this mane. It's kind of cool that it's on the torso. I'll give a credit for that. But all over the face feels so weird. Like, I can't even find the eyes. It's like a needle in a haystack. They're in there. You can barely see anything on them. He's still got his eyes obscured. And I'm carefully, picking through, trying to, put them front and center. It just looks weird. It's like he went through a wind tunnel. It's not really doing it any better, is it? It's like those spin art. That's the one. Or you just, kind of spin it around a little bit and see what happens, and it just looks like a big starburst. Yeah, pretty much. Chewbacca the Bad Hair Daddy. Now available. There is actually a holiday edition of him that is now available in Targets. I haven't found it yet, but I don't know what to think when I do find it. Speaking of holiday edition. Can you stand up? No, you can't. Okay, fine. Speaking of holiday edition, I was able to find at least one of the holiday edition Lego Star Wars plushes so far at Target. I am still waiting around to see if the others will come in. I think there's a Darth Vader one. There's like 3 or 4 of them. I remember somebody posting about it on Instagram a little while ago. I didn't find them all yet, but at least for now, I have found a Stormtrooper one, which I have already reviewed and will be publishing soon, comparing it to the last year Stormtrooper one. There are a bit of differences between them. It's not just, oh, we take this one and we throw a sweater on him. Now, they actually do have a couple differences on the printing on the torso and on the legs. They're roughly the same as far as the helmets go. Maybe it's a my copy, but they're a little bit more flared on the bottoms of the helmet here compared to this one. I think that looks a bit better. But if you don't have either one of these, if you don't have any of the regular versions, not the holiday versions of them, it's better to get these because it feels more, you know, everywhere. You can just use it anytime. This one, I feel like I would only take it out for December. But I will still keep it with everybody else because he's a stormtrooper. He still stands up very well. Like I'm like 2 feet away from it now, and working pretty well. But yeah, they are made at a good quality. I really enjoy these, and I am not done yet. Oh my gosh, this Chewbacca! I can't with this guy. I think it's actually it's really funny. Now there is another Yoda plush that I do have. Unfortunately, it's not here right now. Oh man, it's like here, but it's not here. It's not in this room here, I should say. I don't have enough time in order to get that for this video. I'll probably bring it up some other time. But that one is not necessarily Lego. It was packaged with Lego. It's not based on a Lego minifigure Yoda like the other ones that we looked at. It's based on Yoda and possibly from the Clone Wars, I want to say. I have to look at him again, and again I'll do. And something else. I've shown it before on live stream, not on this channel. I think I've shown it to Sans because he likes a lot of Yoda stuff, especially Lego Yoda stuff. So I don't know if he's gonna get that or already has it by now, but more power to you if you do. So moving on. Oh. We gotta talk about this. This is something that I picked up earlier in 2020, while exclusive to their stores, some regular retail products, and I went to town for the exclusive stuff. I have already done a video about all this, but I'm going to highlight just the plushes in here to add it in for my Lego plush collection. I'm terribly sorry that throughout this entire video, I have not been able to show everything on frame, nicely arranged or anything like that. As I mentioned, many of these are hard to stand up and I don't have the facilities to display them right now, but I think these are still fun to bring up either way. And I alluded to this earlier when I said, oh, I'm going to have to rearrange some of these because they're X, Y, Z, you know, category-wise. I like having them in categories just to make it easier to find them if I want to look for a particular one again. But let's get right to it. So, first ones I want to start off with are some costume ones. Going along with the hot dog guy that we had earlier and the Bumblebee Girl that we had earlier, we've got a shark costume guy. If I had to get any one of these from the Legoland Discovery Center that they had, it was going to be this one. This looks phenomenal. I love the look of this one all the way around. I love that the gills are embedded on here. It's got very nice, you know, thin work. It's a little bit odd how it stands. It looks like he's standing and like looking upward. Like a lot of it is weighing backward on him. I mean, a little bit top heavy, I guess. But he still looks very nice. I think he covered the here. It looks very good. And this is one that's not with the weird sunburnt look on the face. None of these are, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I'm looking across them right now, and yeah, they all look perfectly fine. I don't know why those other costume ones were like that. Maybe it was the manufacturing year or something like that. Or again, about the company. I'm rambling here, aren't I? Well, welcome to Maniac Bricks. So, second one we have here is a Butterfly Girl. Again, from the Collectible Minifigure series, another costume one. And the wings are good here. Alright, I may or may not have been disconnected, but I was discussing about, I like the short leggy minifigures. I don't know, something about them is just really cute to me. Another costume one we have, Unicorn Girl, possibly the tallest of the standard minifigure plushes that I own because the big headpiece and the horn to go along with it. It's even got like little textures for the tail and the the mane, I guess. Mane might be the right word. I also don't know a lot about animals and biology, do I? Got the basic sparkles along the torso. It covers everything just right. It's got like an extra layer here for the feet, for the hoofs, if you may. I appreciate that. It's even like nostrils for the helmet piece. It works very well. This is what I like. Manhattan Toy Company literally translates the minifigures into plush form. Like no holds barred. Does it just so good. Moving on from there, we're going to go to Lego Batman movie for a little bit. I did mention before having a Joker plush. This one was, I believe, on clearance from that whole purchase, which is very nice to get a very nice minifigure plush on clearance. A lot of nice little ripples in here for the hair. Maybe not 100% accurate to the Joker hair from the Lego Batman movie, but gets the job done. Just gets the right idea. From where I'm sitting or standing, it looks like cabbage, but that's just me. It looks very nice along the torso, and just like the other Batman movie figures, the torso is just smoothed, printed on there. It's, still got everything. It's still fine. The minifigure face actually has a lot more of that embedded work, whatever you want to call it. Like little ripples here and there that just look really nice. Kind of gruesome, but kind of cool. And also I like the coattails added on there. Didn't have to be there. But he's got little coattails. And he's just walking around. And he's got a really bobby head, which I find kind of funny. Very lifelike. Very, very lively, I should say. Alright. We got 2 in here from Ninjago. 3 in here from Ninjago. I forgot about that. Got buried underneath the other one. We've got Lloyd. We've got Kai. And we've got Jay. If there was a Cole, Nia, Zane, I would have them as well. But I don't. They weren't there. I don't know if they exist right now. I have to look on Bricklink and find out. But anyways, I have actually talked about these before when I opened this package. And I already noticed there was a problem with them. The eyes and the head pieces do not look right. Now, luckily, I have consulted with other people like MC Survival Man, who has these same plushes, and it's an error that he's noticed with them as well. Maybe just something in the manufacturing that was just like, well, it's part of the manuscript, and we just didn't correct that. But yeah, it does feel a bit off that you can't really see the eyes so well on these, that the masks are very, very thick and obscure a lot of the face. Like, it's barely showing through, especially here on Jay. I could barely see the eyes there. It just feels like I can see it looks regressed from all the mask covering it. It's still nice for the headpiece, but maybe a little bit too stuffed. Let's put it that way. The torso is very nice. I like that it's still top and bottom, getting it across. Very plain on the backs of them, unfortunately. But again, kind of comes with territory from what we've seen so far. With Kai's eyebrows in default form here. and that little bandage on the side of him. And at least the torso is really nice. And Lloyd looks a little better than the rest. You can still see the eyes and the eyebrows very nicely through here. I'm not as concerned with him. So, best to worst, we've got Lloyd, we've got Jay, and then we've got Kai. Kai being the least appealing one. They're not going to fall apart. They're not going to rip apart by moving around, doing it dozens of times. Dirty, of course, but hopefully machine washable. Yeah, I don't know. What does it usually say for these? Acetate, copolymer. I can't read half of this. It's science. It's science and chemistry. Too fancy for my taste. Too fancy words. And I'm a nerd. Next, we're moving on some of the Legoland exclusive ones. Ones you can only find there. I think the other ones you probably could find in other places. On a slim chain, I want to say. Maybe the Joker was available in other places, like the Batman and Batgirl ones that we showed earlier. but these are actually made to be released only at Legoland and Legoland Discovery Centers. So, I mean, it should be obvious. They say I heart Legoland on their torsos. It's like the magnets and keychains that you could find in those stores. They don't sell them separately as a minifigure on its own from what I know of. So, it is still nice to have them in plush form, just being its own thing. They represent it very well. They got nice little pockets on this one. I do like that the hair is, again, a nice little ponytail bun kind of thing. Just all that drippery, that rippling, whatever you want to call it. The, what's it called? Not hairnet. I'm going to go with hair clip for now. The hair clip in red along the back of her. It could have, again, just been the same color as the rest of her hair, like on the minifigure probably would be. And a nice face. Nice face on here. But for some reason, always tilting back. Maybe because of the hair. I don't know. I can get that to stand up a little better. No printing on the back of her. But the I Heart Legoland on the front looks pretty good. And for the guy, we have much the same as the I Heart Legoland, but I kind of don't like him as much. The hat is just very weirdly, I mean, even when I received it, it was very weirdly askew. I haven't really been able to fold this one in a way that it would, fit properly, that it could, still see the face and have the brim, very firm, very, forward. It's just always leaning down. So that's kind of unfortunate for him. And a little bit more reserved. His arms lean in a little bit more by default compared to the Legoland girl, where it looks like her arms are a little more welcoming, open out a bit. Still good printing along the torso and everything like that. Nothing on the back of him. And the face is perfectly fine when you can see it, at least. I thought there was going to be a removable hat. It felt like that for a little bit. And if you pull the pins off, you probably could make a removable hat and then add your own Velcro. But I'm going to leave it as it is for now. Now we got to talk about this. It's a Legoland exclusive. It's from Thai Beanie Baby Plushes. Not the Manhattan stuff. Not the, I forget what the other ones were. Not from Lego directly. Thai. It says it right on the tag. It's got the little heart tag and everything. I had no idea what this was when I purchased it. I was just like, oh, it's another Lego plush, throw it in. But when I actually got it, I was like, what am I looking at? I mean, for one thing, as a Legoland exclusive, it's supposed to be this robotic dog named Widget. That's as far as I know. I've never been to a Legoland park, unless you got Legoland Discovery Centers, and even then, I don't remember seeing this thing there. So I have no idea on the character, and I don't remember it ever being in a Lego form. I'm sure it probably does exist in brick-built form at the parks, but yeah, there's no set for it that I know of. It's something, but that is probably the most fascinating thing to me is that it's from Thai, T-Y. It says it's from the Beanie Boos collection, created exclusively for Legoland, Widget. My birthday is March 27th, www.thai.com. It has the Legoland logo on the next page, and it says it's from copyright 2019, the Lego Group. Safety precaution. Please remove all swing tags and other accessories. Surface wash. Okay, this one actually tells you how to wash it. And in other languages. Very basic information, but still fascinating nonetheless. I actually do want to go to the Thai website and figure out, is there more information to this thing that I don't know about? It's like, why would Lego have that when they already have a manufacturer for plush things? Why partner with Thai? They have weird partnerships every once in a while. I mean, the Levi stuff that we see this year, the Nike stuff, a couple other weird ones every once in a while. Paul Frank. There was a Paul Frank partnership at one time where they had a couple of Lego shirts and a keychain of the monkey from Paul Frank as a minifigure. It was literally just minifigure body, just Paul Frank, head right on top of it. I kind of want it out of the obscurity, to be honest. But But this one's actually pretty interesting because it's got a little bit of everything going on. It's got very smooth surfaces for the top of the head and the feet, like it's an extra material on top of it. Almost, I don't want to say leather, but feeling kind of like leather, like a softer leather. I don't know. It does have its own, regular plush texture all the way around. Very soft for that. Actually, a bit softer than a standard minifigure plush. This one's a bit more like the I want to say kind of like the Lego Movie 2 ones, like the ones that weren't made from Manhattan. Very soft. Like I'm rubbing this thing back and forth, and you can see, the streak of where I rubbed it. One of those kinds of textures. I don't know what the phrasing on it is. It's got etched details for the eyeballs, and strangely enough, around the face. I have no idea why. But then the mouth itself, this area in the middle for the forehead to mouth, is all smoothish. It's like the same as the rest of the body, but even smoother. And you would think that's the one that maybe they would etch a little bit more because there's some cheeks, there's a tongue, there's a nose. And yet it's not. And maybe that's part of it being a robotic dog, is like it's digitized, It looks digitized here. But I don't know what this thing is at the Legoland parks. I don't know why it's for a Thai Beanie Boo collection. And I want to look on the websites and find out more. I had tried looking this thing up after purchasing it, and I couldn't really find a lot of information about it at the Legoland parks. Just a very few scattered pictures of the face of this thing at attractions. Not necessarily that it was the host of an attraction, that there was a brick built form at the attraction, sort of, but not really. I don't know. It's very weird. But it exists. It is here. And wait. Yeah, copyright 2019. Thai ink. Surface washable, all new material, polyester fiber, and polyurethane foam. Whatever that means to you. Wow, I still have the other Legoland exclusives in this box. I should probably build those sometime. We'll see more about that sometime later. Sunday Pants will be coming up. I am going to edit that tonight. Hopefully get that episode out tomorrow. Or get another episode out. Because Sunday Pants, I do need to catch up on that. I know I just started it. Shush. But I've got a lot going on. So I want to try to do that as best as I can. And hope you guys enjoy that. So thank you for joining me with a dozen plushes from Lego from only just the past couple of years. Literally from 2019, I think I've had an overflow of them just in that year alone. 2020, I've only had like 2 or 3 of these. Really. It was the Baby Yoda and the Stormtrooper. That's it. And then just scattered ones all around after that. From 2017, 2012, 2004 I mentioned. Yeah, it is cool. I like plushes in general, whether or not because of the Lego attachment to them. I've always liked stuffed animals growing up. And I even have some plushes that are based on other properties, like video game characters. I do not want to collect them all with Pokemon. I absolutely do not want to collect them all with Pokemon. I repeat, I do not want to collect them all from Pokemon. Way too many out there, way too many variants of them. I just want to get the ones that I like personally. I need to get a Feebas stuffed plush. That is absolutely right. We'll get there. We'll get there. I have a Wooper plush. Actually, right off frame, isn't it? Somewhere. What is right here? Oh, there it is. Yep. I don't know. Maybe this should be its own video about the. I mean, I did a video a while ago about video game plushes, and I think I said in there I was going to keep Pokemon out of it. Maybe it's time I do the video for Pokemon plushes. I should do one as well with video game update, because there are a bunch more that I picked up, and there are a couple more I still want to look for. But I will do that some other time. But soon you will see a video about the Stormtrooper plush, since that was fairly recent. I thought it'd be fun to just compare that with the one from last year up close. I will not be on frame with that, but hope you guys enjoy that either way. Maybe upload it tomorrow along with Sunday pants, just for funsies. Everything's topsy-turvy, so I'm trying to figure out what's what, but I still want to give you guys something to enjoy. If you guys want to see more stuff, you can check out my Patreon at patreon.com/maniac4bricks. I have a lot of new plans for that one coming soon, even as soon as December, and I am looking forward to how patrons will receive it. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Already got a little bit of bonus content on there already from the Sunday Pants episode 1, the pilot. So if you want to check that out before you see the new episode, go right ahead. In the meantime, I'm going to go eat. I gotta eat. You know what? I probably could just put the Lego plushes in this box and then put all the other sets that are in here somewhere else. That might be a smart idea. All right, you know what? I'm going to leave you off with the Wookiee plush. Please give you that consolation. Oh, I got the pork chicken here too. Yes. Hey, I already mentioned it the other day. Pokemon. This derpy face never gets old. Always, always fun. See you later. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye. Yeah, I'll get everything cleaned up back here. Yeah.